I'm in a mess right now, and I honestly don't know where to start. A few days ago, something happened that has completely shaken my marriage. I love my wife, Jenna, with all my heart. She's beautiful, intelligent, funny, and just an incredible person. But there's something that's been bothering her for years. Something I never realized was going to affect us like it has now. That something is her sister, Mary. Let me give you a bit of context. Jenna is stunning, but she's always had body image issues. She's an emo, alternative beauty, which is different from the more conventional, classic beauty of her sister, Mary. Mary was a model for years, successful, tall, and blonde, everything society says is ideal. But that's not the whole story. Growing up, Jenna always felt second best. Mary was the pretty one, and Jenna was the smart one. This comparison haunted her, and it's still something she carries with her to this day. In the beginning of our relationship, Jenna would joke around and say, "Wait until you meet my sister." She would ask me questions like, "Do you think Mary is more attractive than me?" I always told her the truth. Mary is pretty, but I think Jenna is far more beautiful and interesting to look at. That didn't ease her worries though. It seemed like every time I complimented Jenna, she'd turn it into a comparison with her sister. I remember the first time she broke down about it. We were sitting in our apartment, and she just started sobbing. It came out of nowhere. She confessed that she'd always struggled with her self-esteem because of how often she'd been compared to Mary. It broke my heart, but it also opened up another conversation. She warned me that Mary had a habit of being flirty with her exes, and that it was just a matter of time before she'd try something with me. At the time, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't think Mary would ever do anything like that. But I was wrong. Over the years, whenever we'd meet up with her family, Mary would always find ways to make me uncomfortable. She would touch my arm a little too often, make suggestive comments, or give me these looks that felt off. I called her out on it several times. But it always seemed to happen again. My wife would get upset, and I would spend the next few days reassuring her. It's been 6 years of this dynamic. I always thought I could handle it and that things would get better, but it hasn't. The tension was always there, and it hurt my wife every time. Now, to the present day, the situation has escalated. A few days ago, we were at my mother-in-law's birthday party, and Mary asked me to help her get something from the garage. We stepped in there, and before I knew it, she pressed herself up against me, pinned me against the door, and tried to kiss me. I pushed her off immediately and asked her what the hell she was doing. She laughed it off, saying, "We've both been thinking this, and you know you want to." I couldn't believe it. I ran out of the garage and straight to my wife. The whole way home, Jenna kept asking what was wrong. I didn't know how to tell her, but I had to. I couldn't let Mary spin this into something it wasn't. I told Jenna everything. She cried the whole way home, and my heart shattered for her. It was the worst thing I could have ever done to her, but I couldn't lie about it. Now, for the past few days, Mary has been calling and texting Jenna, doing exactly what I thought she would do, lying, twisting the story, and even telling my wife that I said she was the hottest girl I've ever seen. I had to reassure Jenna a million times that I never said that. I would never say that. But despite all my reassurances, Jenna is devastated. She's bare-leading, pulling away from me when I try to comfort her, and saying she feels hideous and disgusting. I've never seen her like this before, and it kills me. I don't know how to help her heal from this. She's so broken right now, and I just want to fix it. To make things worse, Mary's behavior has been enabled by their family for years. Her parents have always treated her like the golden child, constantly bragging about her looks and her career. Meanwhile, Jenna, who's an incredibly accomplished neuroscientist, has always been overlooked. It's like no one sees how amazing she really is. It frustrates me to no end. But I've always tried to stay out of it, to keep the peace for the sake of my wife. But now, I'm starting to think that maybe keeping the peace hasn't been the best option all along. I don't know what to do anymore. My wife is hurting, and I feel completely helpless. All I want to do is fix it, but I don't know how. How do I help her heal from this? How do I make sure that this doesn't destroy our marriage? I need some guidance, Reddit. What should I do? It's been a few days since I told Jenna what happened with Mary in the garage, but it feels like we've been living in this fog, this endless tension. My wife is barely holding herself together. She's distant, and every time I try to comfort her, it's like I'm pushing her further away. I've been trying to reassure her as best as I can, but she's withdrawn into herself, and I feel like I'm losing her. I knew that Mary's actions would hurt her, but I didn't anticipate just how much this would crush her. The worst part is seeing Jenna so lost. Like she doesn't even know who she is anymore. She keeps saying she feels worthless, ugly, and like she's not enough. These words, this self-hate, are not the person I married. My wife is strong, beautiful, intelligent, and talented, Yet here she is, consumed by this insecurity, all because of her sister's actions. It's heartbreaking. And then there's Mary. After what she did, she's been relentlessly messaging my wife, trying to twist the narrative to make it seem like I was the one who made a move on her. She's spreading lies, even telling Jenna that I said Mary was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Every time I tell Jenna the first didn't say that, she pulls further away. It's like she's drowning in these lies, and I can't reach her. The trust between us feels like it's been shattered into pieces. To make matters worse, I'm starting to realize that Mary's behavior has been enabled by their whole family for years. It's like they all treat her like this golden child, while Jenna is constantly overlooked. She's accomplished, she's a neuroscientist, a talented musician, and multilingual, but her parents never seem to acknowledge her for what she truly is. I can't stand how they've always brushed her brilliance aside in favor of Mary's looks and superficial success. This has been a weight on my wife's shoulders for her whole life, and it's tearing me apart to see her carry it. I don't know how to fix this. I've tried everything I can think of to help Jenna, but it's like nothing is working. It's been days since I told her what happened, and she hasn't been able to eat, sleep, or even focus. It's all I can do to just sit there beside her, hoping that she'll talk to me, but she can't seem to find the words. Her eyes are empty, like she's lost everything. I can see the pain in her, but I don't know how to heal it. I've tried to talk to her about therapy. I know she's been battling with body image issues for so long, and I thought maybe therapy could help her work through it. But she's reluctant. She says she doesn't need it, that it won't help. But I can see that it's eating her up from the inside. I want so desperately to help her, but I'm at a loss. I'm just trying to keep our relationship intact, to reassure her that I'm here for her, that I'll never leave her, but I don't know if it's enough. I don't want to lose her to this. I don't want to lose the woman I love, the woman I promised to protect, to a lifetime of insecurity and self-loathing. I've seen the worst of this situation, and I know it's not just about Mary anymore. It's about everything, her family's behavior, the years of emotional damage, and now the damage from what happened in the garage. I want to protect my wife, but she's not allowing me to. She's pushing me away, and it's the hardest thing I've ever had to face. And then there's my own frustration. I've been harboring a lot of resentment and anger, not just towards Mary, but towards her whole family for the way they've treated Jenna. I've held it in for years, hoping that things would improve, but I'm realizing now that they never will. I've been put in this position where I have to constantly choose between my wife and her family. I've always put her first, but it's exhausting. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not. I should have spoken up sooner, shut Mary down before it ever escalated this far. But I didn't, and now we're here. Jenna's broken, and I feel like I've failed her. I should have known better. I should have seen this coming, but I didn't. At this point, I'm not sure what the right next step is. I know I need to help my wife heal, but I'm not sure how to do that. She's so deep in her own pain that I can barely reach her. I keep asking myself if there's something more I can do. Maybe I need to be more patient, more understanding. But what if that's not enough? What if this is something that's going to ruin us? I don't want that. And then there's the whole family dynamic. I've been thinking a lot about what Jenna said about how her family has always pitted her against Mary. She's always been second place. And I can see how much that has hurt her. But now, after what Mary did, Jenna's family is just standing by, as though nothing happened. They've never acknowledged how toxic their behavior has been. I think it might be time for us to go no contact with them. But how do you make that decision when there's so much history, so much pain? I know I need to support my wife, but I also need to deal with my own feelings. I need to stop burying my frustration and resentment for the sake of keeping the peace. I've done it for too long, and it's eating me up. This situation has shown me that I need to prioritize both of us, not just her. I just wish I knew how to make this right. I wish I could fix it for her. For us. But I don't know if that's possible. All I can do is keep trying, keep supporting her, and hope that one day she'll find a way to heal from this. Things have been incredibly tense these past few days. My wife, Jenna, is still struggling. After everything that happened with Mary, and the way her sister's harassment has twisted itself into this complex mess, I feel like we've been walking through a constant fog of anger, confusion, and sadness. I've never seen her like this before. I don't think I've ever felt this powerless. I've been trying to be the best partner I can, reassuring her, reminding her of her worth, telling her that I'm here no matter what. But it feels like I'm just saying words that aren't reaching her. She's distant, hollow, and every time I try to hold her or even touch her hand, she pulls away. It's been heartbreaking to watch her spiral, and I can't help but feel guilty that there's nothing I can do to fix it. The lies Mary is spreading about me about the incident in the garage are making things even worse. Mary has been spamming Jenna with texts, trying to manipulate the situation. twisting everything into something it's not. She's even telling Jenna that I said Mary was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've told my wife a million times that I never said that, but she's so clouded by her own doubts that she keeps believing it, even though she knows it's not true. The lies Mary is spreading are fueling Jenna's insecurities even more. The fact that I can't do anything to ease her pain is unbearable. I thought the emotional damage would be enough to cause some kind of rupture between Jenna and her family, but it's not just the harassment anymore. It's the way Mary has been enabled for years, the way their entire family has prioritized her over Jenna. I've been so angry at how they've treated my wife, how they've made her feel second best, always in the shadow of Mary's looks and superficial success. It's all just a toxic cycle that never stops, and I'm sick of it. But there's one thing I've realized over the past few days: I've been burying my own feelings to keep the peace, to keep things smooth for Jenna, and I can't do it anymore. I've been holding on to so much resentment, not just for Mary, but for her entire family. They've treated my wife like she's invisible, and I've been so focused on protecting her that I haven't taken care of myself in all this. It's been a learning experience for me. It's been a wake-up call. After everything that's happened, I finally sat down and talked to Jenna about how I've been feeling. I told her that I can't keep putting all of my frustrations and emotions aside just for her sake. I need to be able to express myself, too. I'm here for her, always. But I need her to understand that I've been affected by this situation too. And I need her to understand that we both need to heal, not just her. I don't know if she's really processed it yet, but it felt like a step in the right direction. The other thing that happened, though, was more unexpected. After everything calmed down a little, I decided to take action. I talked to my boss, who I trust completely, about what had happened. I was nervous after all. This situation is so messy, but I knew that if Mary was going to try to make things worse by getting involved in my professional life, I needed to prepare for it. My boss knows me well, and I was able to explain the situation in a way that didn't make me sound like I was trying to get attention or sympathy. I just needed to make sure that if Mary tried anything, I had backup. My boss was incredibly understanding, which took a weight off my shoulders. But then, just a few days later, Mary did exactly what we feared. She reached out to my boss, claiming I was a predator and that she had proof of my assault. Of course, she couldn't provide any proof because there is none. She claimed there was a video, then said the police had it. But when my boss asked for it, Mary backed down. It was a mess. I was floored by the audacity of it. She was willing to go this far, to destroy my reputation, all to cover up her own actions. It didn't end there, though. A few days after that, I received a shocking email. It came from my personal email account, which I know I hadn't left open on any of my devices. But it was an email with a picture, one that wasn't mine, sent to my entire office. Yes, it was a picture of a penis. Not mine, but still. I have no idea how Mary got access to my email, but I can only guess that I must have left it logged in on one of my in-laws' devices when we visited. It was embarrassing, humiliating, and honestly ridiculous. The image was so bizarre that I'm sure she just Googled something gross and picked whatever came up. I couldn't help but laugh, even though I was furious. It was the most absurd thing that could have possibly happened. I had to apologize to everyone in the office. Thankfully, everyone was understanding, and it somehow turned into a strange bonding experience with my coworkers. They could tell it wasn't my fault, and they knew Mary was just out of her mind. But it was still one more mess to clean up. At this point, it was clear that Mary wasn't going to stop. She'd escalated this to a level I never thought she would, and I had no choice but to get legal advice. I never wanted to go down this road, but what else could I do? I talked to a lawyer who helped us draft a cease and desist letter outlining her harassment and the emotional and material damage this was causing us. Jenna wasn't ready to reach out to her family yet, but I knew we couldn't let this slide. So we sent the letter, and I felt like a weight had been lifted, even though it was a painful step to take. Jenna was still hurting, still pulling away from me at times, but I could see her starting to slowly regain some of her strength. It wasn't easy for her, but I think she was beginning to understand that she didn't have to put up with this anymore. We had to set boundaries, even with her family. It wasn't long after that when Jenna made the decision to go no contact with her entire family. This decision was huge, but it felt right. Mary was toxic, her parents were toxic, and this whole situation had to end. Jenna reached out to her family, telling them exactly what had happened and that she wouldn't be talking to them until she was ready, if ever. We blocked them on everything, and I have to say, it felt like a relief. A necessary step. But even though we'd made that decision, Mary wasn't backing off. I knew this would take time to fully heal, and I could tell Jenna was still struggling with the weight of it all. The way Mary had torn her down was something she'd been carrying her whole life. And now, With everything that had happened, it felt like it might be too much to fix. But I couldn't give up on my wife. I couldn't let her fall apart because of her sister. It's been a few weeks since we sent the cease and desist letter, and while things have calmed down a bit, I can't say it's been easy. In fact, it's probably been one of the hardest periods of our marriage. The weight of everything that's happened is still hanging over us. Mary's lies, the emotional turmoil she's caused my wife, the stress of dealing with her harassment, it's been a lot to handle. Jenna's still working through everything, but I can see small signs of improvement. She's starting to eat again, and she's sleeping a little better. There's been more affection between us, 2 gentle hugs in the morning and quiet moments of intimacy. But it's slow. I can tell she's still processing, still battling those demons that have plagued her for years. And as much as I want to help her heal instantly, I know it's going to take time. The decision to go no contact with her family has been both a relief and a burden. Jenna's parents have been toxic her whole life, and Mary's behavior has only confirmed how deep those wounds run. But it's also a loss for her. Jenna still has this part of her that wants to believe they could change, that her family could accept her for who she really is. But it's clear that's not going to happen anytime soon. They've been so focused on superficial things, looks, status, success, that they've completely overlooked how incredible Jenna really is. I'm proud of her, though. It's been hard. But she's done the hard work of standing up for herself. She's been seeing a therapist who specializes in body image and self-esteem issues, and it's been a huge help. She's starting to realize that she's more than her looks, that she's worthy of love and respect just as she is. It's been a breakthrough for her. Slowly, but surely, she's starting to see herself in the light I've always seen her, as someone extraordinary. And I'll keep reminding her of that every day until she believes it. But the emotional toll on her hasn't been the only thing I've had to navigate. I've had to come to terms with my own frustration and anger. I've spent years letting my feelings slide to keep the peace. But this situation has forced me to confront the reality that I can't keep burying my emotions for the sake of others, especially not for my wife. I had to have that conversation with Jenna, and it was difficult, but it was necessary. I needed her to understand that I've been hurt by all of this, too, and that it's not just her pain that matters. We both need to heal, and I can't do that if I'm always putting my feelings aside. It's not been easy, but the conversations we've been having, the honest talks where I'm allowed to express my frustrations, and she's able to open up about her insecurities, it's helping us rebuild. Our relationship has been tested in ways I never imagined, but I can see that we're both stronger for it. We're learning to communicate better, to support each other more effectively, and that, in itself, has been a huge step forward. One thing that has helped Jenna through this process is a surprise getaway I planned for us. I knew she needed a break from everything: family, stress, work, so I whisked her away to one of our favorite spots. It wasn't some grand vacation, just a weekend getaway to reset. I took her out to dinners. We went for long walks, and I made sure she felt adored. I wanted to show her how much I appreciate her, how beautiful she is, inside and out. I could tell it meant a lot to her. By the end of the weekend, she told me she felt like herself again, like she'd been given a second wind. It wasn't a cure-all. Far from it. But it was a chance for her to breathe, to relax, to feel loved in a way that wasn't weighed down by the toxicity of her family. And that was exactly what she needed. As for Mary, we haven't heard a word from her since we made it clear we were done with the harassment. She's probably off scheming some new way to get under our skin, but we're done letting her have power over us. We've blocked her, cut her off, and we're not looking back. If she tries to cause more trouble, we'll deal with it legally, but for now, it's like she's a distant memory. And that's exactly how we want it. I can't pretend that everything is magically fixed. It's not. The damage has been done. And it's going to take time for Jenna to fully heal from the years of insecurity and the trauma of what Mary did. But we're in this together. We've been through the worst of it. And now, we're focused on rebuilding our lives and our relationship. It's going to be a long road, but I'm confident we'll get there. One of the biggest pieces of news I've been holding on to is that Jenna and I are expecting a baby. We're having a little girl, due in February, and it's the light in all this darkness. I can't wait to be a father, and to show our daughter what healthy love looks like. We're going to teach her that she is more than her looks, that she is smart, strong, and capable of anything. And we're going to do everything we can to break this toxic cycle that Jenna's family has perpetuated for years. Our daughter will grow up knowing she is worthy of love, no matter what anyone else thinks. We've made it through the worst, and now, we're focused on the future. We've set boundaries, we've distanced ourselves from toxic influences, and we're putting our family first. We're taking things one day at a time, supporting each other through the ups and downs, and doing everything we can to make sure we're both healthy, mentally, emotionally, and physically, as we bring a new life into the world. And that's the end of the story. It's been an intense journey, full of challenges and emotional turmoil, but I'm hopeful that Jenna and I are on the path to healing. We've made it through some of the toughest times, and now, we're looking forward to a future that's ours to create one where we're both valued, loved, and supported. Thanks for reading, and for the advice along the way. We couldn't have gotten through this without the support of others.